All right, welcome to the Rocket Launcher Podcast. This is episode 2. I am Supreme King, your host, and I am joined by Mr. Omazes. How are you doing today?
Great, man. How are you?
Great, you just bought it out, but I think you're back. You bought it out for like a hot second. But that's cool. We can just keep going. I think people will be okay about that. That's not that bad. It's not as bad as well, you know what? I mentioned the drain last time and then the drain didn't happen. And I don't even know if it's going to happen again this time. It's funny because we did how many pilots and then the drain was going off every single time. I was like, let me just shut up on the drain because it might not happen. It might not happen no more. But anyways, how you doing, man?
Great, man. How are you?
Oh yeah, you biting out again. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah. I hope this is good. Just talk to me. What do you got to say? Say anything.
So it's weird that I'm botting out. You did bot out for a second on my end.
It goes in and out for some reason. I think you're back, but I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you're good.
That's weird. Are we sure?
Yeah, it's like what, only 60 seconds. Yeah, I think you're good. We ain't really talking about nothing yet. The people could bear with us for 60 seconds. Are we okay, invisible audience out there? The millions and millions of people on the planet Starfield, or on one of the 1,000 planets of Starfield. Yes. Yes, it's a lot of planets. I feel like it's too many. I feel like they could have cut that in half and made it more lively. We don't know what the planets look like yet, but usually if they are copying No Man's Sky, then it's gonna be empty planets for the most part, right? Was it? Because I'm gonna be honest, I looked at No Man's Sky.
I've played No Man's Sky.
I'm trying. So here was the thing. I wanted to just pick it up just because. Okay. I'm pretty sure it was gonna be cheap and everything. You know how many videos I looked at No Man's Sky, and I was just like, you know what? This game seriously needs its own Darth Vader, or maybe some lightsabers, maybe some people to shoot at. It was just like, okay, we're gonna harvest something here or there, and then there'll be like a lightsaber, not a lightsaber. Then it'll be just like a random Jurassic Park thing that's usually small that you would shoot at, or maybe you shoot at a drone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So I had played the early version of No Man's Sky before they made it better, and I played the later version of No Man's Sky. And a lot of it is empty. So it's to me a chill sort of game. You're just kind of like going planet to planet, collecting resources. If you see a new animal that like hasn't been put into your Rolodex yet, that you can name it. And what's cool is in the newer version, when you play with other people, if you were the first person to see that alien, you name it, and then that name appears for everybody else as well.
Okay. So you like,
but you get to kind of like,
you space Adam.
You get to space Adam for sure. But
name animal.
You get like some space combat and things like that, and I mean it's okay. It's one of those like, I'll throw this on for like an hour or two because I don't really feel like playing anything heavy, and then like that's it. So looking at that Starfield trailer, I will say from the people from the point of view of saying it looks like No Man's Sky, I don't mean that in a bad way, or saying that like the whole this is just No Man's Sky for Xbox or something like that. It looks like what No Man's Sky thought it was going to be. That's what it looks like to me. Like it's you have your mining, you're going planet to planet.
Right.
But then the combat looks better. And you actually get to shoot at other people, things like that. The world that they showed off looks lived in. Like there's things there, right? There was nothing that felt empty. But like you said, with them having like 1,000 planets or whatever, that concerns me because I don't want them to just be the same. Like I feel like that's what ends up happening is you're gonna get like 4 or 5 planets that are just there to be there.
Color maybe, and
Like I'd rather a solid like 20 planets that are like fully detailed. Because they even said you can land on any part of the planet, so it's like it feels somewhat different from any of them when you land on different parts of the planet. I don't want it to just look the same.
I feel like they probably will be about 80 to 90% the same, and then the difference would be that they'll reskin whatever the animal is in the planet, and they will change the color of the atmosphere as well as the ground, like slightly, like
Okay.
ever so slightly, and they probably might have it in some sort of randomizer, and then just like how many different different planets you can have. Like they might have it where it's like it fills up the amount you could possibly have altogether, almost like probability for anybody who knows math. Like it's like they'll have this many planets and this many possibilities, and then they'll just like, okay, since we got this many possibilities here, and we can like auto re-scan it or auto, I don't know how to say it, but I don't think that they designed them one by one. I really
Okay.
don't. I think it's set up where it's almost like a skinned over thing, similar to how games do the DLCs, where they might mirror the world and then like change the actual NPC, like a reskin
Yeah.
or a mod. I think it's gonna be something like that, and then they're known for having Bethesda. They're known for having people mod their games. And so they probably feel like, okay, the community will mod each planet,
Uh,
and then everybody would play that, because like Skyrim right now, nobody's playing the original version of Skyrim. Like everybody's got some form of a mod that they've done or the community have done that makes it more shinier, or Macho Man Dragon or any little thing. Like they the ones who did that, and it's like
oh yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. It's like, okay, you can have your whole section that's actually Star Wars, your whole section that's Star Trek, your whole section that's Power Rangers in space, your whole section that's Guardians in the Galaxy. You know what I'm saying? And then
Okay,
once you
that
finally
might be
didn't,
real lit though.
yeah,
That's
and
gonna be
then by
real
the
lit.
time you done the entire thing, then all the planets are alive, and then the game is really popping like 5-6 years from now because the community did it. That's what I
Okay.
think is gonna happen. But bare bones is like, I don't know, because somebody gonna make one of them Jurassic Park, and then you
Uh
gonna
huh.
go in there, and then it'll be 200-300 gigs, and you gonna go in there and put all the mods in there. You know what I mean?
Yep. I
Did
really
you,
want to be proven wrong on this, but like you're probably right.
yeah, I mean, because I don't see them doing. I could see them still doing their main story and then their side stories here and there, like the voiceovers and stuff like that. But as far as just the actual in game, I really think they just reskin stuff, because the characters did look a little rough. As much as I don't want to admit it, it looked a little rough.
Yeah,
Where
I consider that like it's early though. Like I don't think that's how it's gonna look for final project.
Yeah, I mean, well, they were supposed to. I guess Sarah Bond was talking about how the showcase was featuring games that was going to be released within the next year. So June to June, so that means they have till June, right? Unless they
Okay.
delay it again. So I don't know. I don't know, but it didn't look terrible. It looked like a lot of people I think that complain about it is like people who would still play, like old games and stuff anyway. But it is supposed to be next gen. Um, but as far as Starfield for itself, I'm still looking forward to playing it. It did have its parts where it looked a little rough, but I don't think that it's going to be bad in the long run. But it is because of all the mods, because of everything I just said, the Back to the Future planet, whatever. There's gonna be
Yeah.
people gonna do all of it. They're gonna do Jurassic Park on the planet. They're gonna do all of it, and
Yeah.
then it will be like you have to dedicate like part of your whole PC hard drive to it. But you'll have the greatest game of all time almost, because there'll be all these different things that they don't have a license for. Um,
That's all you need.
because that makes me want to get it on PC actually for that
Yeah,
reason.
that's my plan. Well, as you know, I don't have an Xbox, so that's my plan. I plan on getting it on PC.
Speaking of not having an Xbox, I do want to touch back on No Man's Sky in a second, but what's going on with Final Fantasy VII? What's up with this?
What you mean?
Apparently, they don't want to put the game on Xbox at all. It's like, what's going on, man? Why y'all gatekeeping over there? Why can't it go on Xbox? It's like, is it that serious? I don't want to play it that bad, but at the same time, it's like it can still go to the system if it's gonna go everywhere else. I mean, well, okay, it's not on Nintendo either, but they did put a bunch of stuff in Smash Brothers. But it's like Xbox can easily like play that game, so they could do the ports if they wanted to. I don't know. What do you think?
Sony don't want to share. We used to it by now.
I don't think it's Sony. I think it's Square Enix. I think I'll have to blame Square Enix, but yeah, Sony as well. Sony, of course, Sony don't want to share.
Sony don't want to share. I'm surprised Sony's doing this much with PC. Like, I feel like there's just somebody begrudgingly like signing over things to PC, like be able to like you must. And he's like, I don't want to. Like, Sony don't like to share.
That's Jim Ryan. That's your buddy Jim Ryan, who betrayed all the PS5 owners. He's doing that. So I didn't actually see this, but I guess this probably is related. Did you see Final Fantasy VII's like trailer? I think it was a trailer for the next part of it.
We didn't.
You didn't?
How'd that go? Oh,
you didn't see that. Well, we probably skipped that. It's funny. I put this here to be like a clip. It's probably not going to be a good clip. This ain't going to do well if we ain't both see it. So this might not be.
Is it? How long is it?
It's probably regular trailer length. I don't know. I didn't play. So Final Fantasy, I hear from the super hardcore that the original on the PlayStation was better, and that they didn't like how, as a game, they're splitting it into two games, and then there was the integrate thing, and basically you got to keep rebuying it. But on the PlayStation 1, it was originally 4 discs, and it was just like this big, long experience, which probably lasted forever for a kid, because the kid don't really have access to keep buying new stuff. And you got this text-based almost game that's just going and going and going. So I don't know. It didn't translate as well according to the hardcore, but Final Fantasy ain't really my game though, to be honest. I tried the demo when they first came out with Final Fantasy VII on PS4, and just like what I said before, it was great until I got into the turn-based part, and I felt like it was way actiony and just stuff was happening, then it just freeze framed, and it was just like, what are you gonna do next? I'm just like, I want to just hack and slash. I want to do Devil May Cry. But it's not that kind of game, and that's fine. That's fine.
When I was younger on the Final Fantasy games were out, the reason why I never got into them, so I could only play kind of what my godbrother bought because he owned PlayStation. And the main options that I had was Tekken, Armored Core, and then he did buy a few Final Fantasy games, but they were always like the later numbers that I didn't realize as a kid that like some of them are their own story. So all I saw was like I could play like Tekken 1, Tekken 2, Tekken 3. I could play Armored Core, or I would have to jump in at like Final Fantasy 4, and it's like, well, I didn't play 1, 2, or 3. I don't know what's happening. So I know that was like the reason why. And then by the time when I got older and I could get my own games and I had my own system, they were already like at 10 and things like that. I was like, yeah, it's too late now to try and jump in and get all of the lore correct. So I never got into them, but I want to. Now I got more time and to really pick what games I want. I can always go back.
I wanted to give Final Fantasy VII another shot because at some point they gave away the integrated version or whatever on PS Plus, and I did claim it. So it was like, well, I can give it another shot because it's the full version. And then if I really still don't like it, then that is what it is. I mean, they still had other games out there like Stranger in Paradise, which was more of what I would play because that's more Souls like.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything action turn based, I feel like it stops. It's like you'll have this nice action sequence and then it just like it really freeze frames you, and it's just not for me. Final Fantasy is still a very strong franchise. I mean,
Uh,
Final
so
Fantasy 14 is strong. But yeah, go ahead.
I like turn-based games. I mean, I grew up Pokemon, so I'm so used to like turn-based games that I think I get like, you know, I can fall into that world a little more. But it is something I want to look back into and try.
Yeah. Shout out to Pokemon. I am gonna make a video that goes out later this week where I announce that I'm going to buy Pokemon Violet, which is funny because it's like I'm not really a Pokemon fan at all, but I have Soul Silver that I barely started, but I'm gonna actually like get going on it, and I want to make a video where I basically just say, "Hey, Pokemon fans, I'm gonna play this, and I do have Legends Arceus, and I want to play that as well. But I'm gonna play this too, and I want to do content on that. However, it's gonna be hard to do content on that because Nintendo are not playing with their footage, so it would be literally only face video footage. Like, there's no way I would show like right now we got Halo footage going. It's like there's no way I'm gonna have like footage of another game while talking about Pokemon. It's like no, it will be all on camera, but unfortunately Nintendo is not too kind to people who play their games. Some people still do it, the smaller channels, but that's just because they small and they don't understand yet. But none of the bigger channels do it there. They'll
you say like we ain't small right now.
Yeah, I mean, we tiny, but I understand. Like, bro, when I talk YouTube, you would think that I should not even be paying any close attention to anything YouTube yet, except for just simply uploading. I'm gonna be honest to whoever listens to this. I'll be on the back end just crunching those numbers, looking at everything, trying to figure out how to make it better. And I really shouldn't even be worried about it yet, but I really do. I've been looking at it, I was like, okay, this says it came, or people who not even subscribed looked at it from here, they clicked on it from here. Like, YouTube has a thing where they can tell you all of that. Like, when people like go in there and they'll like say, oh, I commented on your video, it'll tell me how long you watched. Like, okay, you ain't even watched the whole thing, you just went and put a comment and lied. But yeah, so yeah. But I just be looking at it, but yeah.
So from Pokemon, I actually plan on getting Scarlet.
Yeah, man, we could trade
let me know.
What's the names?
We could trade, and on top of that, they have a 4-player, like up to 4-player co-op part as well. So we could always throw that on, for the co-op portion.
What's up with them servers though? I didn't pay for the online thing for Nintendo. So what's going on?
You messed it up, though? Man. I don't know if you'll be able to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I could as long as the service is good. Because I heard that you know, depending on where you are in the region, Smash ain't too hot sometime online, from what I've heard. So,
I'm gonna be honest, I have not tested it. Like, I don't know why I have the service. I do, and I don't test it. I am their market.
You buy it annually.
People who got it and then forgot it. Yeah.
The $20. So but you don't have the N64 Game Pass or whatever they do it.
No. I have the bare minimum $20. It was something I had specifically gotten it for, and I don't remember which game it was. Yeah. And that is just, I kind of forgot about it. I'm exactly what they want you to do for streaming services and stuff like that. They want you to pay and then forget, so then they just take their $20 every year or however much it costs, and you're not thinking about it, and they get their money. Yeah, I fell for it.
If I had any gripe for Nintendo for any of the that they done, Their service. So apparently, there's the game Super Mario Maker 2,
Okay.
and I didn't know, or I didn't really think about it at first, but in order to access all the actual like in order to access all of the boards that was made by the community for that game, because the whole purpose was that everybody makes a Mario 2D board from like back in the 8-bit era all the way to like the latest era that they had for the Switch, right? And then you could make a board, and then people could play your board, you could play their boards, and you had to have the service for that, and I didn't know. And so I bought the game and didn't know. And I actually didn't want to get the service either, even though I know you needed it for it. I was just like, I just put this game down for a while. It still had its own base game with its own set of boards in there, but you still needed the service to access all the community boards. Well, my issue with them was that we're still in the Nintendo Switch generation. Like, and for that game, I think the game had only been out for about a year and a half. And correct me if I'm wrong, whoever was going to listen to this, but literally they shut down the servers for it. And so you couldn't get no more access to the community boards. They just sort of got away with it. Like, didn't nobody question them about it. That was just it. And so that basically turns that game back into its regular base game. And it's no longer endless. Everything that they sold the game on, like, oh, it's endless creation. You can just keep playing everybody else's board. It's like all of that got shut down because they couldn't pay for the server or something. Like, they just stopped paying for it and just shut the server down. And I'm just like, the game wasn't even no more than like 2 years old. And so I technically,
I was about to say you could play it in November. I was like, get the service, and you can play it for Pokemon and that. And then, like, when you're done, shut the service back off. But
nah, they shut that one down just for that game, though. Like, you can still play, obviously, other Nintendo games online, but, like, now somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. I remember that was a thing, and then next thing you know, it wasn't. I don't think I'm going to clip this because I don't need 1,000 dislikes if I'm wrong. But yeah,
so like, this is a maybe from what we heard, and not re-looking it up right now.
But I know I was just like, that's how you feel, like, because I could see if, like, you know how PlayStation was trying to take down the PS3 and the Vita store and stuff. Like, it makes sense how old that is. But with Super Mario Maker 2, it's like literally it was only out for like 2 years. You know, it was a current game, so. Like, why did they kill it that fast? That was just my thing. And so I would imagine, I mean, I don't want to just now sound like I'm just crapping on them, but like Mario Golf, wouldn't that be next? Like, didn't they released Mario Golf with like not as much content? It was like all content would just be released later. That was the only game that they've done that where they treated it almost like how other companies treat their games. And like, it didn't really do that well. And so I don't know if they just might say, all right, well, we're just going to secretly turn it off, or just tell you one day that it's off, and then it's nonchalant. Like, Super Mario Maker 2 is not the top of the line of Nintendo games. It's like just right there. Like, everything that's like not the main Mario games. But I just felt like that was no need to just turn it off. But I'm pretty sure it's still off, though. I'm pretty sure that was the thing. I don't remember anybody, because did nobody, like, you know how Nintendo get away with stuff. Nobody, like, questioned them. I don't think anybody said anything. That was just it. It was just it.
That's unfortunate, though. I feel like that's the main reason you get that game. Like, I don't want to make the board. I want other people to do it. So, dang.
Yeah, but for the people who enjoyed it when it was really hot, like, I heard it was endless. It really was. Yeah. It was endless. It was just like.
So, if you were able to get boards, can you play them still now if you've already gotten them? Or is it like no?
We had to interview somebody. We got to interview somebody that's like pro Red Hat. I don't know who. Somebody who played it.
All right. I'll look into it, but
yeah.
I don't know, because I feel like that might be a very if you already got the board, you could like sell that Switch for like a lot of money. Like,
Oh yeah, if you really, I mean, I don't know. It depends on which boards you got, but they shut the community down, so it was like I don't know what was popular or not. There were people who were actually making a name for themselves a little bit for making games, like making boards that was like really fun, and then other people was making them like extremely difficult for no reason, basically to like really
of
make you
course,
rage. Yeah,
of
and then
course.
I remember they had a star rating or something. Like you could rate the boards, a community rating, and everybody would go to the one that was rated the best by the most people and stuff, and just download all of them.
So you got to do that, and you got to go to the ones that are rated the worst by
Yeah,
the most.
yeah.
You gotta see how bad it is. That's what makes
So
games.
yeah, this is his own section almost. This is almost longer than the actual topic. Me trashing
But
Nintendo for something.
yeah. Real quick, jumping back to because we were talking about Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
And this would be a nice segue that if you do want to try out some of the Final Fantasy games, they are on the new PlayStation Plus. They got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them on the new PlayStation Plus.
For
Looking that over.
what are the names of it? For
So
Final
they
Fantasy?
have. Yeah, let's see if how well I remember my Roman numerals. Uh, what is this? Final Fantasy 9, Final Fantasy 7, 8 remastered, 10, and then the 10-2 HD remaster, 12, the Zodiac Age, and 15 Royal Edition.
Okay, so a lot of the PS2 ones and then a few PS3 ones.
Yep.
Right.
So they have
Okay.
those on there.
Okay.
Do they have any other ones? Hold on.
You got to pull it up right now.
Yeah. So I was looking at it. So for the PS Plus Extra and Premium have now rolled out. So anybody who had PlayStation Plus got Essential still, and they can upgrade. And anybody who had PlayStation Now, I think they get a free upgrade to the highest tier, right? PlayStation Premium.
No, they
Uh,
was cracking down on people because everybody was like the whole story before was everybody was trying to exploit it. But from my understanding, was the initial people who had PS Now that should roll over to the highest tier, which I believe is platinum. And then there was their whole
Premium.
premium. Is that what it's called? I
Yeah.
forgot. Okay.
Yep. It's Essential, Extra, and Premium, I believe.
I don't know. Are you upgrading at all?
So I
Is
want
are
to, and then I don't.
you tempted?
So I am tempted. So here's the thing. I looked. So I have a subscription up until 2024.
Okay.
And that wasn't like a last minute thing. I just every time they kind of went on sale, I said, sure, let's add a year. So I've been good for like a few years, and mine expires in 2024. To
Okay.
upgrade, they are charging you the like remaining amount for that tier until your expiration. I don't know if it caps higher than mine, and I haven't been able to find anything of it capping higher. I heard it was like a rumor that they said they would make you're not going to spend more than this amount. Uh,
Right. So what they
but
were doing before, their damage controlling was what happened overseas, right? When they basically was having people stuff where it was like you had to pay the difference per year or whatever for your upgrade.
yep.
And so now you don't. You just like so if we did some
But
numbers,
mine
for
is the
example.
difference per year. So I just looked, and mine
Mhm.
for till 2024 is the difference per year. It's the remaining amount that would have went until my subscription was over. I think for some of the people overseas though, their subscriptions ended in like 2026 or 2030 for some of them. So I think it was like charging them way too much, and that's where they capped it. So I
No,
don't know where their highest amount is. It was like you don't have to spend more than $200.
I know what
Uh,
it is. I just remembered. So you did pay the difference overseas, and then they also had to pay the difference for if they had got it at a discount. So if they went to though, like let's say they went to Walmart, right, and they bought one
Yeah.
year for like $30. Well, then they had
Uh-huh.
to pay the extra 30 and then pay the upgrade amount too. And that was where the
Okay.
backlash came in and stuff. And so they was like, "Oh, that was an error, and we withdrew it, and blah blah blah." And it was like, yeah, all the real people knew what was up, but
Yeah.
we
All
knew
right.
what
Well, they
was
are
up.
not charging me for the makeup call because I definitely bought them bad boys on sale. But they're
Okay,
not charging me for the makeup cost for the sale price, but they are charging me the remaining cost for the higher tier. So it's like 110 if I want to upgrade it to premium, and like 73 if I want to upgrade it to extra.
uh huh.
Which would again be the remaining cost, maybe a little bit like off, uh, but it is remaining cost. Uh, I
Now,
didn't
unless
see
you,
an option. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, unless you really care about the trophy support, would you just like create a new profile and go for a higher tier just to see it for a month or two, where it doesn't interrupt
Yeah,
your.
yeah, that might be another thing I was considering. Um,
But you can't brag about
because
your
it,
trophies on Twitter
yeah,
though. Just understand that, I guess.
that's. I mean, I don't brag about them now, so that's fine. And I don't want to brag because then people are gonna be like, "But you
But you,
didn't do this,"
you could
or you know, like.
Photoshop it though. You could be like, I got 500 platinum trophies. That's what you could do.
I'm good. I'm gonna get find out. That's gonna be worse.
Yeah.
They gonna find out and then definitely call me out. Uh, some of the games on here, they look great.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. The one thing that I really wanted, uh, and I know it might be minor because they do have a lot of stuff on here, but the one thing that I really wanted that's not on here is Sly Cooper.
Okay.
Like
Like I
if
think it was
Sly
more than
Cooper
one, but yeah.
Yeah, so if the Sly Cooper trilogy, or all four of them, if they were, I believe there's four. If not, then there's three of them. But if
It,
they were on here, I would have went ahead and got it. That was like the one thing. There are a few other things, like they have Knife and Filter for when I was a kid, like one of the really hard shooter games that I really want to get back into. They have the first two Dark Picture games, the Dark Pictures anthology.
mm-hmm.
Uh, Games on here. They have Sniper Elite 4. And
Okay.
then knowing that Stray was going to be on here, which that was the thing I was. I
You could
want
just
Stray.
buy it though. You
Yeah,
so you
but
go switch your whole logic up for that one game for the cat
well, no,
game.
so here was the thing I was thinking. If they announce Stray, right?
Yeah.
And if they announce a few other games, right?
Yeah.
If like some other stuff, and I know it's probably not going to be like Spider-Man 2 is coming to PlayStation Plus Premium. It's not going to be that. But if it's a game that I was considering getting, right, and that's going to cost like 60, $70.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of paying the 60, $70 for that, the 60 and $70 go towards the highest tier of PlayStation Premium, and I get that game along with a back catalog.
Mm.
Right? That was the idea I was thinking. So it's like, as long as like, if two games that I was considering come out like a day one thing for the PlayStation Premium, then
Yeah.
getting the PlayStation Premium is worth it because then I save $60 if I was gonna get it day one. Right? Um
I think
so
it's
that was
just
where I was looking at it, where I was like, there's one right now, there's the Stray game, but
the only thing that I have to look at it like this for anybody who doesn't have the older systems. It's like, then yeah, I could see you doing that if you didn't want to go through the hassle of like trying to play it as a ROM or try to buy an older system. However, like
uh-huh.
the main complaint that people had about the new PS Plus was concerning the PS3 and streaming games. And
Yeah,
you own a PS3, right?
I do.
So for those games, you probably could just go to the mom and pop joints and just get whatever it
Get them.
was that you was missing. So like Sly Cooper might be one of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
So
then
part of it is convenience, like it's
yeah,
all in one spot. That's
yeah,
really it versus having to like move things around, get things out, replug things in, and
Right.
make sure they work. It was the convenience sake of it. Oh,
Yeah. That's how I feel
but
too. But the thing about it is, when I looked at it and I saw that, just at the very least, there's 3 games that I want to play on PS3 that I haven't played, and it's the ones I kept telling you about before: Infamous 1 and 2, and then Metal Gear Solid 4. Right? I think
those are on here.
right, they're on
I gotta
there,
check if Metal
but
Gear Solid is, but I know Infamous is. All of them.
the thing that I always look at is just, if I always did the math, like it technically is cheaper for me to just buy it outright on an old PS3 than it would be for me to rent it for a year to 2 years. Which I don't think they never want you to actually do the math, but I'm a math person. You're a math person. We always do the math. You know what I mean? So,
yep. And that's why, like I said, the math I was looking at is if 2 games that I want to buy come out for this tier, well, then you might as well, because then I'm getting both of them for the price of one, with a back catalog of stuff. But because only one was announced, Stray, it's like I need to hear another as well. And I think
that worries me actually. That worries me about Stray. But go ahead, I'll tell you why in a second.
Oh, the fact that it's on there.
Because they try to help, they hold off everything else, right? They was holding off stuff like Horizon, and I think they had a statement, or Jim Ryan, somebody had a statement where they said that's not a good idea for their platform, the PlayStation platform, to put games on their day and date. And so if there was a game that went on their day and date, that probably means it ain't as hot. Yeah, either it's not as good, or for that one, I just think it's not going to be that long. It does look goofy though, but
yeah, I think they don't think people are going to get it. Right? Like that's my thought process, that they don't think, because like the people who are excited about that game, to be honest, are people who really like cats. Like that, those are the people who've been talking about it. Ain't nobody else talking about it.
That's really it, because I mean, outside of it, like, I'm gonna be honest, it's like we hold it to a higher standard because I think it's more. It looks like it's better, but it's almost on the same level as Goat Simulator or any of the other simulators. Not to disrespect it, because I know Goat Simulator is like a complete troll game.
Yep.
But it's like it's on that level, because when you're talking about just like scaling stuff and running around in a little open area, that's one thing. But afterwards, it was like, I guess they in the future or something, and there's like these robot mice that's trying to get you, and it was just kind of it looked goofy to me. It looked goofy. The appeal is, yes, you are a cat. That's the appeal. Everything else around it, I was just like, what is happening? Yeah, it was just, I don't know, but
you're a cat in a cyberpunk world, man. You're not supposed to think that deep.
I know. I'm open to it now. I know I said I wasn't before because of like the whole cat situation. But speaking of cats, did I tell you about the cat that was outside my door, or outside it was in the grass. They was fighting.
Cats you've been kidnapping?
I didn't kidnap no cats. This one they was fighting, and they was out there, and I was playing this game right here. I was playing Halo, and it was different footage. I didn't capture it, but I was just playing. Next thing you know, I just heard. I'm like, what the heck is happening? And I'm like, it was loud. It was like really close, and I'm just like, what are they doing? And so I go out there, and I could barely see them. And then I see like it was a gray cat that ran away, and the other one that went underneath a bush, and it just kind of sat there and growled. He was growling at me. He was like, "Roar," and I'm just like, "Do you want my help or not? Like, what? Like, I can give you some. I still got some of this tuna from what I fed the last one. But I mean, if you're just gonna growl, but he was bigger though. He wasn't like the other one. The other one was so tiny. The other one was a baby. That was probably the smallest cat I think I've ever seen ever. But this one was big enough to be like a teenager cat. It had to been like 6 months or older, maybe, but definitely less than a year though. But yeah, he had some size and had enough, he could make enough of a growl to get your attention. And I'm just like, Yo, like the game, the actual cat games sound nice, but in real life, man, it's a doggy dog world or catty cat world out there, man. They out here. I'm like, y'all supposed to be helping each other. Y'all supposed to be working together. Y'all ain't supposed to be fighting.
If there's an ever an animal that's not about to help out its fellow animals, it's a cat, man. You know how territorial they are?
That's crazy.
They do not care.
But they was like the same size. I'm like, ain't y'all like brothers and brother and sister or something?
I've seen sibling cats attack each other. It ain't no thing.
Yeah,
they don't care.
I was just like, come on, man, come on. But yeah, so yeah.
But some of the bigger names for those that might be considering the PS Plus like higher tier. Okay. Some of the bigger name games that they have on here: Assassin's Creed Valhalla. They have Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut. Okay. On here.
It might be their biggest.
Dynasty Warriors 8. Yeah. That one actually, it surprised me that it was on there.
Yeah.
They have.
But you know what? Horizon they put the Demon Souls on. Yeah, Horizon 2. But I was gonna say, didn't they put the Demon Souls remake on there? If I remember correctly.
Oh, they did. Yeah. Demon Souls is on here. Detroit Become Human, solid game if you haven't played it. Okay. Yeah, the Horizon, Infamous. So they have Infamous First Light, Second Son, and then later down the list they had the other Infamous games. Those are their Mafia 3, Marvel Spider-Man, Guardians of the Galaxy, Miles Morales, and Spider-Man Game of the Year edition.
Okay, all right. So it's off to a good start. Off to a good start.
NBA 2K22 for the people that are into basketball games. Power Rangers Battle for the Grid.
It's almost ancient. NBA it's almost ancient now.
Well, 2K22. I mean, they're going to be releasing 23 soon. Yeah, so it's a year old.
It's ancient compared to 2K players. But
Red Dead Redemption 2, Power Rangers Battle for the Grid is on here. Now, it just says Battle for the Grid. It doesn't say any of the special stuff. So it might be base game. The South Park games, Fractured But Whole and Stick of Truth, very solid if you haven't played those. Those are like some of the best for turn-based stuff. The first two Dark Pictures games are on here. Uncharted 4 and Lost Legacy. The Apocalypse, Werewolf the Apocalypse, those are on here.
Nice. That game died a slow death. Or really... Actually, it was a fast death. It was
a fast death.
It was a fast death. I can't say a slow one.
Yeah. They also offer, for the premium tier, you get to like a limited time trial. So like you get like 2 hours to play. Biomutant, Cyberpunk, Elix 2, Farming Simulator 22, Horizon Forbidden West, Hot Wheels Unleashed.
You say Horizon Forbidden West? Is Forbidden West on there?
Yeah, for like you get 2 hours of it.
Oh, you talking about the demo? We can't count the demos.
Yeah, yeah, but like they have those, the Tiny Tina,
I don't know about
Uncharted.
I can't count none of them.
They're there, and then you have the PS Plus.
You go to the bathroom and get back and it's done. I was like, nah, I don't know about that one. I don't know about the demo.
Yeah, then they have a lot of classic games on here.
Okay.
Yeah, they have the they have Jak and Daxter, Jak 3, Jak 2, Jak X Combat Racing.
Okay. That's a game that they probably should bring back over there at Naughty Dog, or let somebody else do it.
Infamous 2, and Festival of Blood, the DLC that was like vampires.
Okay.
So that was cool. Yeah, they got a lot of old stuff on here. They have Siphon Filter, a bunch of the old Ratchet and Clanks, a bunch of Resident Evils. They have Resident Evil 4, 5, Gold Edition with the alternative edition. Resident Evil 6.
Now, speaking of Resident Evil, let's translate. How do I say that? Let's transition to this one. Yes. Resident Evil 8. Did you see the third person trailer? Did you see that?
I saw the VR trailer. There's also a third person trailer. That's what's up.
Yeah, so for Resident Evil Village or Resident Evil 8, they're going to add third person mode to it. And then they're adding like a couple of the game modes, I guess, where you can play as some of the villains and stuff in the game,
Okay.
including the tall lady with the
Oh
hat.
yeah, I did see this.
Yeah, yeah. So you could play as her. And my only gripe is that I believe the third person is a part of the DLC and you can't just get that by itself. That's my only gripe. But other than that, I'm interested in it. They kind of hooked me into it. It's like, well, I didn't play 8 yet. I was going through the
Oh,
older ones because I wanted to go through the older ones. But um, 8, I was expecting to have to play it in first person. I'm so much of a third person fan, so I'm definitely going to play that in third person. So I think you got to get the DLC in order to do so. Um, and I didn't want to do that, but I I do want to play that in third person. So I'm probably that's the one DLC that they got me on. They got me on it
okay.
because I'm gonna do that when they come out with it. However, they did come out with free upgrades to all the older, well, not all of them, but PS5 and Xbox Series X upgrades to Resident Evil 2 and 3. And
Okay.
so, and then 7, 2, 3 remakes. I should say that correctly. So, the remakes to 2 and 3, and then Resident Evil 7, you get free upgrades. Now, there's a catch to this. That's if you bought it. So, if you have a PlayStation Plus version of 7, you do not get the upgrade. You have to actually buy it.
Oh,
PlayStation's not
what's
allowing you to do that.
so weird?
Only on PlayStation. So yeah, they gatekeeping the upgrade.
I mean, I have it. I bought it. Like it was like on sale, and I got it. And then like a little while later, they gave the other one. But like, yeah. So I could upgrade, but like, I don't like that. It's just how you get keep your own game. I don't know.
They
That's
shoot. Is that
weird.
not every game? Like all the PS4 ones, it was just like, well, we're gonna director's cut it, but we're not
Yeah.
gonna just upgrade it. So that's how they were doing it. But um, it's something about that third person. I don't understand, man. It's like first person versus third person is such a huge difference to the player base. So
Yeah.
when I looked at 8 in third person, it felt like it was a new game real quick. Like they were still showing Resident Evil 4 remake footage also, but that one also felt like a new game and all they did was change the perspective. I
Uh,
will give a shout out to the PC community because maybe some of them won't do it, but a lot of them had already modded this game. Like I saw they had third person hacks in that and Cyberpunk where
oh.
you can play that in third person on the PC side. So
Okay. Cyberpunk is the one that needs it. Oh, I don't like. I play these, but I don't know why. It's always weird to me when games have like a create your person and then it goes to first person. It's like,
yeah,
well, no, I created this person. I want to see this person.
yeah, because I think Cyberpunk like officially like you only see your character like a couple of times throughout the whole game, like in the mirror or like in
Cutscenes.
story sounds. Yeah, in the cutscenes, it's only a couple times, and like you literally go through the whole game, you don't even see anything. So yeah, but I'm excited about the Resident Evil third person. Um, Resident Evil 8. Will you play this in third person or you stick with the first person?
Uh, I don't know. I would want to like. I started 7, and I feel like if I already get through that one in first person, I might stick to first. But I always like third person games, so I honestly I'd probably switch to third. Be honest. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I do third person.
Third person.
Oh yeah.
It's just
I don't know.
it's
It's I don't play enough first person like games and first person shooters to like be great at them. So like in a panic, like if I'm running, I'm gonna bump into everything because of the limited vision. Uh
I wonder how it changed the dynamic for this game too, because usually when it's first person, there's a certain horror element to it. Where in
yeah.
third person, you can kind of see, what's coming near you. You got a little bit more wherewithal, like what's around you or whatever. So I wonder if it changes it from being more horror to a little bit more action. It was already more action compared to 7, but I just wonder if it like takes it down even more that it's in third person,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, I'm definitely this is a definite go for me as far as third person. Like
Okay.
I'm gonna choose third person over first person almost every game.
Yeah, same.
Every game. Like I think like Starfield, it looked like you could do both, but I know I think in Skyrim you can do both as well. But there were people who were always saying Elder Scrolls, like the diehards would say Elder Scrolls is supposed to be first person. That's how it's quote unquote meant to be. If it's like for me, it's like man, if they got a third person view, like I'm playing it third person. I'm sorry.
I
Like
played in third person for Skyrim. When I played the first person Skyrim, I was getting myself used to first person games because for a
yeah,
long time, like during the PS2 and PS3 era, really I'd only play third person. Like if it was first person, I just wouldn't play it.
right.
Uh, so and it was part of it was like also a way to save money because there was too many games that I liked. So that was the hill that I like
Mm-hmm.
sacrificed with. And I was like, all right, well, no first person games. But when I wanted to start getting used to them, so I could play some Call of Duty and what was that game, Brink, and like Killzone, a few of those, like the first person games that I wanted to play. I started with Skyrim, so I would do third person for like traversal, and then in combat switch to first person, just to slowly get used to playing in first person games. So now I can do it with like Borderlands and things like that. But
I was gonna say go
yeah,
go go face first into Bioshock One. That one's first person and is kind of horror ish, and then you get all these like Thanos abilities with your super hand that has all these powers on it that you could switch in and out. Bioshock would be the one, but yeah. So anything else you want to say on Resident Evil? I think we've covered it. I think we're good on that.
good. Oh yeah, we're good.
All right, cool. So, the next thing I think I don't have. I put plenty. There's plenty of footage out there for me and videos of me talking about the Xbox show and PC show so far, but I didn't get anything from you. Was there
So
anything you want to talk about on that?
yeah, so specifically the Xbox and PC show, they look great. Like some of these games look really good. Like it makes me it's like I'm happy I got a PC. Like there was that game High on Life, the Rick and Morty basically game.
I feel bad,
Uh
bro. I buried. I didn't. Well, I didn't bury it. I was just like, I said something that might have been disrespectful because I said I felt like the developers was high on life. That's what I said when they made it.
look,
Which
so do you watch Rick and Morty?
I don't.
I
I
see. I
know about
watch
the
Rick and Morty,
humor,
so
but
it is that type of humor. So is
yeah,
that and so it looks like it's the type of game that I would play. It's gonna be goofy. Uh
I
while I
ignored
will say this,
the humor aspect. I was just more on the whole idea of there being a face on your gun and that's talking. Period. I was just like,
yeah.
what
Oh,
are we
see,
doing?
no, you gotta you gotta watch and listen for the humor.
Yeah.
Uh, so I did notice throughout these two and all the other shows, there
Yeah.
are a lot of space games and a lot of simulators
Now
coming
I
out.
did want to touch on that too for a second. Probably not. I was gonna make a vid on that. I was just like, yo, there's a lot of space games, and I don't know if Starfield influenced it or if people just wanted to jump on that, and like
But
on
it
that
was like
type of
it's
height.
what Starfield Callisto Protocol looks like it takes place in space.
Yeah, that one
You
too.
know, Dead Space is coming out with a remake. There's
Yeah,
that one where you're like a Mars engineer. There's another one that's more horror, and you're like a
yeah.
Mars engineer. There's the one where you're the girl with like the portal gun, but it also looks like you're in space. Like those just a lot of
I feel bad because I don't
space
have it in
games.
front of me because I think I had wrote them down because I wanted to compare them all in a whole
Okay.
thing, but I don't think I got any of that in front of me right now. But yeah, it was. I think it might have been called. It was something with the name Mars in it, and then there were a lot of them were first person, but then there was a couple of them that was third person too. and you was walking around and stuff, and I was just looking like, yo, it's a lot of them, and they're
Yeah.
focused on the PC market, so clearly they was coming for that type of energy. It was but
Yep.
a lot. I was like, man, they got like so many of them here, you know. But here's my thing. Okay, I gotta go back to No Man's Sky. Are y'all gonna have like, where are your Dark Vaders? Where's your offense? Where is the? Because there's no there was no direction in No Man's Sky for me. For me, I'm not gonna crap on it, but I tried to watch a lot of footage where I was just like, yo, they really was just not doing anything. It was like the whole idea was to get stuff for your suit and for your ship.
Yep.
And in my head, I'm like, or if you stay on your home planet, you ain't even gotta do that. And then if you do that, then what's the whole point of the whole thing? That was just how that
Not
like how.
necessarily. So, my home planet, which would just be the first planet that it drops you on, when I
Yeah.
first played it, was a planet that had very little oxygen. So I had to keep running back to my ship, and I couldn't go too far because it didn't have breathable air. It was a dead planet with no life on it except for me,
Okay.
and there was a bunch of pillars of just solid gold. It was just a gold mining planet. So I spent like the first 3 hours of playing No Man's Sky just mining gold, like the whole time, and then running
Yeah.
back to my ship to breathe. And then I started like traversing to some nearby planets. But
Cause I was watching and I literally was nodding and basically falling asleep, like trying to, and that was just all that people was doing was mining stuff. It has
yep.
some of the same animations that reminded me of Outriders a little bit with the iron, and I'm
Uh
just watching it and I'm just like there's like not one person that they ran into not once. You know what I'm
nope.
saying? Like Outriders is like, okay, you have your aggressive monsters, but then you run into like people ish, you know, like that
Yeah.
have like certain things going on. It's like that's what that game needed. Was just
So it got
something.
it later. You go to space stations and you can get missions from people to go grab some things. If you're
Mhm.
in space, you can get into space battles. All
Okay.
with people where we're shooting, and I think they were like legit players. And sometimes it's computer generated, and occasionally you find like a lost ship that you could like jump on or like take as your own and things like that. So they added those in way later, but it was kind of like a little too late. And then still the core of the game, there wasn't like a main villain, which I don't think there was like a main story. It was just a game where you just go explore. Like that was it.
Okay. Well, there's one other game that I wanted to highlight real quick in this, which was called Chorus, and it kind of just came out. Nobody got it, so now that it's like the price is cut in half. It's like it's you could probably get it for like $20 in most places. I think it was also like on Game Pass and $17 on Xbox, but it was called Chorus, and it was basically what we saw in Starfield or No Man's Sky, where it's only in the ship. Like you never get out the ship, and you just shoot other ships and you fly through those obstacles, and that's practically the whole game. But that was technically one of those type of games that kind of just came out earlier than all the rest of these, and no one cared apparently. So
Oh,
yeah, there's a game called Chorus for anybody who needs a fix right now. And you're sick of No Man's Sky because you had it for a long time, you can go play that. Or you could
just want
probably
space
do.
combat.
I mean, Star Wars Battlefront 2 was a
That's
game that I
uh,
played that I felt like it had much more of a well roundedness to
yes.
that type of thing. It's just you
Yep.
didn't have the lightsaber, but then you have Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and then the new one
Order.
if you wanted to play it
Star
that
Wars
way.
Squadron is full space battles.
Yeah,
Like
so
you're in
there's
the ships.
there's plenty of these type of games for people. But
Yeah.
yeah, the PC
So
gaming show. Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna say, besides space, there was also a lot of simulators. Like there's, of course, like farm simulator. There
Yeah,
was flight simulator, trucker simulator. There was, of course, goat simulator. Then there was one that was like your brew simulator where you're making beer. Uh, I
yeah,
was
it's
just looking at
goofy.
like, there's a lot of like just simulate. He's like, hey, you You want to pretend like you're outside in the comfort of your own home? Like, here's a simulator. Like, there was just a lot of simulators and a lot of space games. That's what I noticed.
I think I've already I put out footage on this, but I was just gonna say my gripe with the PC show itself was the one dude. Like there was too many of those like goofy skits. It was just like I'm not here for like him to try to like entertain me. Like him and the girl, it was just like all you had to do is just show the stuff. Like just show
They
the
were
stuff.
doing their best.
They didn't need to do anything. They didn't need to do their worst. They didn't need to do anything. They did not need to be there. Just show the trailers. You know.
But if they just show the trailers, the show won't make it to an hour and a half.
It don't need to be out. It was filler. If you ever look at the real stream, anytime they was on that part, the chat got real disrespectful. Like all of them got real disrespectful real quick. And was saying everything, especially the ones who created dummies accounts just so they can get on there and be disrespectful. So it's like they could have avoided all of that. All they had to do was just show if they had like one or two skits here and there, that's one thing. But it's like usually the PC gamer is the most vicious out of everybody because of the whole PC master race thing. Like they don't have that kind of attitude at all. That looked like something you would probably throw in a Nintendo thing or something. Like Nintendo is a little bit more of a friendlier crowd. Like the PC people, they want to mod everything. They want to, like that's right. Not. It just doesn't match the demographic, especially if you are like a veteran PC player. Like you really into it. You to the point where you probably not even paying for the games. Like if you a veteran, you looking for every little way to get it cheaper or not even pay. So, right. So like they don't even want to see all of that. And I just know for me, I'm still newer to the PC because I ain't got a full blown tower yet. I got this struggling laptop, and I'm just like, yo, I want to see better games. I don't want to see that. So for me, I put a video out that's probably going live in a couple hours where I said the main thing that I took away from it was a game called Agent 64. Where they basically copied GoldenEye. And it was a throwback for me, and I thought it looked nice, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be cheap, and it would be something I would want to get on PC so that I can get a mod where they put the real stuff in there. And basically, that was the only thing that I liked, to be honest, from the PC show. From everything else, it was just like...
So, yeah, the PC show games that got me, and I have to re-look at what these are, but Rotwood, Nivalis... Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2, Agent 64, and Victoria 3.
Okay. So it sounded like you got a nice handful more. Like I was being a little bit more negative because the skits and stuff was putting me to sleep. I'm gonna be honest. Go ahead, I'll tell you.
All right, so I can be honest. I saw the first through the skits in the first 3 games and went, yeah, I can't do this. And I looked up a list of all the games coming out and watched the trailers individually. Like I couldn't watch their skits anymore. I was like, I need this to hurry up. So that's why I was able to get a little bit more games because I just went trailer to trailer.
Let me tell you how bad it was for me. I put Xbox Joke of a Second show up on one screen, and I had the PC show going on the other screen. I had 2 screens, and I literally had them both going at the same time. Because remember, I said it's too many shows, and we got other stuff we got to do during the week. This should have been definitely spread out throughout the course of a month. Especially when we get to the next topic, which is the future game show and the future... Like, I didn't even see it. I have to see it later. But literally, like I had both of them playing at the same time, and there was moments where it was just nothing but people talking on both screens for 3-4 minutes straight. And I'm just like, okay, usually when it's somebody talking, I mute one screen. Or if it's 2 trailers going, I pause one of them. But it was to the point where it was just people talking about nothing on both screens. And the Xbox Second show was basically a F for me. Because they was doing a whole bunch of vlogs and interviews. Yes. That was the entire thing. And I'm like, yo, you guys can't afford this right now. You cannot afford this. Because anybody else who was talking, oh, they got the second show. Everybody thought it was a show. Everybody thought they was going to see something else. And it was just like all vlogs. And then they had like a couple of YouTubers out there too. And it's like, more power to them. I would love to be in a spot like if I ever get this thing going. But it's like, at the same time, I don't want to see it as a viewer. Like, I did not want to see it. Like, I wanted to see more of the games and stuff. It was like everything that you did not show on the first show that was already announced. It was like, where's the Fable? Where's the Vow? Where's even like Bright Memory Infinite? Where's the Exo Mecha was another one I talked about in the video. It was like, where were these games? None of that stuff was showed. It was all interviews. And I was kind of annoyed by that. And I was just like, it was one point where I was nodding on 2 shows going at the same time, like I was about to fall asleep. And when I'm like snapping myself out of it, they still in talk mode. It wasn't even like I missed something. I'm like, what is happening here? And one of them, I think the PC show, one of them was live, and the other, no, the Xbox show was live, and the PC show was a rerun, and that one was like double the length. And I'm like still watching them, and I can still pause the stream and just like watch the stream later and stuff. And I'm just like, yo, like, they're not even showing nothing. I'm playing them both at the same time, and I played the Capcom show right before it, and with the Capcom show, I like only pulled out the Resident Evil. I'm like, what is going on with these shows? Because you're looking at like 3-4 hours of content here, and you're only pulling out like 3 or 4 games. It's not like you pulling out 30 or 40 games, and they showing like 40 or 50 games, and don't nobody want to play them. I don't know.
Yep.
So I ain't want to be negative, but yeah, I was just like, nah.
It was just, there were too many shows. Which, I mean, we can talk about. So the future of games the future games and the future of play show. Yeah. So the future games show wasn't really anything new. Like, their bigger titles were things that were shown in other shows, and then it was a bunch of like some neat looking, I guess, indie titles, but nothing really.
So only missed a couple
really
things.
Stood out. Yeah. So for the future game show, they had like some game called Die by the Blade. Okay. Looked good. Scathe was on there. Robo Beat and Morbid Metal. The Entropy Center was another one that looked like it's a space game. And then a few like the biggest one on there that I think I liked was The Last Faith, which it's like Castlevania style and Bloodborne.
I thought of Last of Us featuring all Christians. It was like, no, it's just it's the last church show or something. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's so it's the Castlevania style where it's like a platformer where you like fight and everything. But also Bloodborne is inspired, so like tough bosses. Okay. But it looks pretty cool. That was the biggest game. There's a few other, but a lot of them were very like just indie games. For a huge chunk, and then it started with. And that was the other thing. It was weird. They didn't really space out the stuff. It like started with your high end things like Scathe and stuff like that, and then it was just back to back indie. Like they didn't spread it out. Which I think they should have. But then there was the Future of Play, which that was like all indie. It was just 100% indie games. But like it was weird. Yeah, so it was cool, but it was the second one. So for the Future of Play, the second game they showed was called Boyfriend Dungeon. Right? And
isn't that already out? I hadn't heard.
Oh, maybe it's
that should be out. That's out. That's definitely out.
JRPG. Okay. It's a JRPG and it's hack and slash, right? So it's not even turn based. It's hack and slash RPG. However, you can date your weapons. So it's like a dating sim, and your weapons like turn into like people, sort of. Not even just waifu, because it was men and women. And it's like you get to pick the ones that you want to like try and date, and it's like a dating sim thing. And if you're successful, I know it didn't sell me either. But if you're successful in like building your relationship with them, the weapon gets stronger. So like that's how you upgrade the weapon is by dating it. I don't know.
There's so
All I
much I
know
want to
is in the
say, but I
comments.
just got this channel and I don't want to get it deleted.
So
It's so
I
much I
will put
want
it
to
this
say
way:
about
in the
how you say that.
comments,
Yeah.
yeah, in the comments, people said it was like, if this is the future of play, we need to go back. Like that was really the comments. It was just like, this is the future. We gotta go back because like, what is this? What is this right now? Like, let's go backwards because that was the second game it showed off. Like that threw me off. But they also have this game coming out called Spells and Secrets.
Okay.
It's like a cartoonier looking version of the Harry Potter game coming out. So there's another magic game. So there's that, and then
is it third person? So it's third person.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Third person, and you do spells, and almost looks like it was going to be a phone game. Like the graphics look like phone game graphics.
You just lost
but
me.
The
you had me
gameplay,
up until you just said
hold on, but the gameplay isn't phone game. The gameplay itself is just, you know how like the phone game, like specifically the graphics that they have and everything, where certain things look extra cartoon like.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like, but the gameplay itself was a little more involved. Oh, it looks pretty interesting.
Now, how long were these two shows? For anybody who ain't seen it and they want to go back and look at it.
The future of play was about 45 minutes, and the future game one was about an hour, maybe less.
So that's not bad. I could probably, I could probably put them both on two screens and try it again while I eat something.
They had your skits in there too. So like one of them had the two commentators doing weird skit things. One of the shows was actually probably a little bit shorter because it opened with a guy playing guitar, like playing the music to several games. I don't know why, but
was he?
He was good.
All right.
He was good. And one of the shows I think it was the Future of Play one. Instead of having like regular host, it was a character from two separate games. That would talk back and forth. So one of them was like extra digital, and the other one was like one of them looked like a text-based like PlayStation 1 game, and the other one looked like a PlayStation 4 game. And they would like chat back and forth. It was weird. But it had a few there's also a lot of rhythm games I noticed coming out, which seems pretty cool. Like Soundfall, Infinite Guitars, or there was another one where you like Metal Hellsinger and everything, where it's like you have to do things on a rhythm.
Okay. I didn't see these two shows for anybody who's probably gonna click off when they hear that. My bad. I didn't know, because when I heard E3 was done, and then I heard there was gonna be a show here and there, I didn't. So basically, all they did was take the name E3 from it, because there was still a show like every day almost, and it was still like, if you go back and count them, it was still like 5 or 6 shows. So like when I didn't keep up with the other ones, so I kind of just missed it. And so I do want to see it, because I do want to, like, I'm still a fan of like little games. I like the small games because, for one, they're not that expensive, and then you can easily play them without your laptop blowing up, or for any laptop PC people. And so yeah, I wanna see those other two shows, and so if they're only about an hour each, that's fine. I can watch them at the same time, mute one and then unmute it, pause, that kind of thing. So yeah, I don't know what else to say about that. So I'm at least
another game that is coming out real quick. Another one, Pal World.
Okay.
I am super excited about that. That one is Pokemon, but like with guns. That's the whole premise. It's like, what if these two things are in the same world? Go.
I saw the trailer. I think, yeah. Shout out to the original whoever did that thing on Twitter where they had you actually gunning down the real Pokemon. It was like the game that everybody wants and will never see.
Did you see the boss battle that he had against Zapdos?
Yeah, it's Zapdos.
It looked great.
It looked hot. It's like, yo, some of these like indie, I don't even know if he's indie. It was like somebody just made something real quick. Hire these people. Somebody hire this person. Hire them. Because they don't make no sense for like one or two people can do something like this on their home computer, and then we have a real game come out and it's like it's lacking content, or the actual official version of a game is not as good as somebody's fan thing. It's like, come on, like y'all supposed to be the professionals, but with all due respect.
Yeah, all due respect from you, not from me.
All right, I'm gonna leave that in there so they can
release a fixed game. Like it shouldn't need a day one patch. I'm not gonna get into it. I'm not gonna get into it. But
all right, well, let's get into Diablo Immortal. I have this here that you want to speak on it again. What's going on?
Yeah. So we talked about the whole, in order to max out a character, you got to pay $110,000 on average, right?
Yeah, so once you sell your house and you do that, like then what do you do with this game? What else?
Nothing. So this Twitch streamer, Quinn69, to give him his credit, he on stream spent $2,000. So it was like 3,000 something in like their currency. I think it was like New Zealand currency.
Okay, can't give him too much credit.
For us,
all right.
It was $2,000. But no, he was proving a point. So I don't think he was like doing this for fun.
Oh,
like
so he was
proving
flexing.
a point.
So he was flexing.
20. So he was doing $25 at a time.
Well, I'm gonna need him to prove a point and come pay for one of my bills.
Right?
Man. You got it.
Now I wonder if because it was on Twitch stream were people helping out, it was like they're donating some of the money too. Because he did it $25 at a time.
Okay.
Right? Okay. Help us. But he spent $2,000 on Diablo Immortal, like buying the loot boxes and stuff. It got 0 5-star gems. Like out of the gem stuff that you need, he got nothing top tier.
Wow.
Out of the generated loot box. Apparently, it was like $6,000 that like report in writing, but he has said that he spent $10,000 in there. And it was just like, your game is trash because you get nothing. Like he has gotten 0 top tier stuff.
So no holographic Pokemon cards.
Nope.
Wow.
Nope. Like, can you imagine?
For $2,000?
buying $2,000 at once, like buying $2,000 at a time, right? At a store. Like you're just sitting in the store and you got the Pokemon cards in front of you and you're sitting right by the counter and you're just spending $25 at a time for those packs, opening it, and nothing holographic. Or if you're a Magic the Gathering player, you get no mythics. Like you get nothing top tier for $2,000 in one sitting. Like that is.
He got to sue. He got to figure it out and sue.
Now
one of his viewers got to be a nice lawyer that can figure it out.
Yeah. On top of that, this is why you should not play this game. There's actually a hidden free limit. So
we get no
for the
sponsors
people
from Diablo. I like Diablo 4, but okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm scared about Diablo 4 because they hired a person to run the store, which means they're putting a lot into the store. And they're like, it's just cosmetic. And it's like, there should be no store in a loot-based game.
Well,
like,
maybe
if the gameplay is loot, then the loot should be in the game.
Well, they got your feedback. They gonna make it only $50,000 instead of $110,000. They got you.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we'll cut it in half for you. But you still gotta come up off that car.
There was people talking about, it's like for the Diablo game, it's like, well, the free part of it is still fun, right? And you just don't pay for the end game stuff and quit before then. Well, it turns out there's actually a hidden cap for the free stuff that if you're doing like the missions and everything and you're getting the loot and everything after 5 missions in a 24-hour period, it stops giving you good loot. So it only gives you like the horrible things and you get, or nothing. Like you just get bad stuff until and in that 24-hour period, if you buy something, then it resets your cap.
So they make sure they hook you in the beginning, and then afterwards, you a junkie is how they treat you.
Like imagine us playing Borderlands, and when we get to our 5th mission, bosses only drop gray, no-powered guns that are 10 levels less than us, unless we bought something from the store.
Yeah, that's bad.
or wait 24 hours. Like that's what the game is doing. Like you gotta stop supporting at this point. Like you can't. Uh they're really trying to squeeze any amount of money they can out of people. And it's like you shouldn't have to do that. Like if you put Diablo at 70, a lot of people are buying it day one. You don't need to try and squeeze more out of them. It's insane.
Yeah. I Diablo 4 was one of them that I liked. I just liked how it
Uh-huh.
looked. But yeah,
I played
I don't
Diablo 3. I played Diablo 3 back in the day when that first came out.
okay.
Yeah, and it's a fun game. It's a nice not roguelike, but like dungeon crawler sort of
Mm-hmm.
RPG
Top
loot.
down.
Like it's
Yep.
cool getting top down. It's cool getting the loot
Yeah.
and like trying to balance. Of course, for me, it's putting the good loot on my character, but also making sure they look cool uh, and everything, and dealing with that. And it was fun. Like I really enjoyed it, and then it's just seeing where it's going, where everything is just pay, and it sucks.
That's gonna be the whole industry too, though. That's the thing. It's like,
Yeah.
nah, I said earlier they got me with Resident Evil, mainly because I would rather play it in Resident Evil 8. I would rather play it in third, but at the same time, it's like, going forward though, I'm not really trying to pay for a bunch of DLC. I'm still one of those like I'll wait for the complete edition, or you almost got to wait for director's cut editions for a lot of these games now too. It's
Yep.
like you thought it was complete, but it's not. It's like voila. But I'm not a big fan of paying for a lot of DLC. Especially when it looks like it was held back on purpose.
Yep.
Or not putting the base game on purpose. And then weapons and power moves or whatever they was doing with Marvel Avengers. It's like, come on, guys. Like, your player base isn't 5 years old. Like, they understand what's going on. And yeah, so yeah, I'm not supporting the mobile version. Hopefully they don't do that with Diablo 4, but it is what it is. We're talking about whoever is running both games. I mean, they might have the same CEO, so
Yeah.
it is what it is. So yeah, anything else you want to say on that?
Just don't support them. Like, don't support these mobile games. Watch out for these gotcha games.
Yeah, watch out for yeah. Cause I don't mess with gotcha, but yeah, watch out for the gotcha games. But so I got Walking Dead here. You're talking about Walking Dead, the game that was VR, or was it the other one?
The other one, The Last Mile.
Okay.
So I remember seeing it, and I was like, so we knew what the Walking Dead VR one was, and it looked good.
Okay.
And then when we saw the trailer for The Last Mile, and you had the guy dragging him through the snow, and I was like, wow, I wonder what type of game this is gonna be, right? And it was like it's either gonna be like Telltale like, or it's going to be like a building sim. That's what I thought it was gonna be, like build a fort, like real time strategy.
Yeah.
Turns out it is a Facebook interactive watch game.
Oh, that ain't gonna fly with me. Anything involving the name that shall not be mentioned here that starts with a Z. I'm checked out. I don't want nothing to do with him. Nothing.
Yep.
So that stops me from getting the Oculus. But
Yep. So The Last Mile is basically it's going to be only on like the Facebook Gaming and Facebook Watch, and it's interactive. So it's like, I guess
I didn't even know they had a watch. Where
neither.
did they get a watch? What are we watching?
Facebook Watch. Oh well, they have. That's where Jada does her red table thing. Okay. That's how Jada does her red table talk. It's on Facebook Watch.
Oh, I'm thinking of a Rolex or something. I'm thinking of my bad. I'm like, what did they get a watch? Like, what are you talking about? Like, what? I'm thinking of a smartwatch where you could watch, like an Apple Watch, so you could look at it. Like, I'm like, when did they get a watch? Like, oh, you talking about there? I don't be looking at. Well, you know what, man? Shout out to the TikTok coming soon, because that is where I get some of my material. For all the mindless stuff, that's if you like brainless content, that will be about 80% of whatever I do on TikTok. So look out for that coming soon. Might drop next month early, but carry on. What were you saying? I'm sorry.
So yeah, so the game looks like it says that like basically is you have to log on at a very specific time, and you can play games and influence the new world and its inhabitants. That's a quote from the guy who made it. So it looks like it's just a super giant interactive game. They apparently have a few more coming out, but that's what
we're Clementine.
Like they have a Survivor style one.
Is she in there?
No. Clementine, I don't think so.
We're gonna solve somebody's hand again or something. We're gonna solve people, because that was a big moment for a lot of people.
Yeah,
a lot of gruesomeness.
But so this game is gonna be a pass for me.
Yeah, I'm like, first of all, Facebook, isn't this something that's a little going against your terms and conditions with the shooting and the sawing people up and all of that, or a little Asian girl licking salt lick or something? Like, isn't that against your terms and conditions, Facebook? I'm gonna go against them for a second. But
somebody.
Oh yes. Somebody needs some money. I need money too, but they really need some money. They done lost a lot. Oh yeah, they done lost a whole lot. Oh yeah. I've been laughing at y'all for a while. Yes.
You in this war against
I don't.
He who shall not be
he
named.
who shall not be named. Yes, because I'll call you a sucker bird, because that's what I used to call you. But yeah, I'm like, I'm gonna get an Oculus, and then the next thing you know, I'm going against some terms and conditions or something, and I might be locked out of it or something. Like I don't got time for that. Oculus costs so much money.
Pictures.
Yeah, like, no, I ain't got time for that. But for that particular Walking Dead, you're saying no. You're saying no to that. Okay.
Nah. Like, I mean, it seems like maybe it's a cool idea. Like with everybody voting and things like that, but like, not something I want to do. So I thought it was gonna be its own like game. I do what I want.
You know what? I need a Walking Dead game that's AAA. That got everybody. I need all the Fear of the Walking Dead people. I need Negan. I need Clementine. I need the black guy that turned into a zombie that Clementine killed or didn't kill. I don't forgot. I need all of them. It depends on
what you do.
Michonne. I need everybody in it, man. Just put the whole thing in it. Put them all in there, all in one, and make a real one.
That'll be cool.
And rival Last of Us. Like, listen, you can't steal from us no more, because we making the real thing. It's just like the Indiana Jones game, I guess. But yeah, I remember there being a Walking Dead game, and I think I remember seeing it, but I think I wrote it off almost as quickly as I saw it, because it didn't seem like something I wanted to play. But
what it was about. Like, it was a nice cinematic, but it was a cool cinematic, but like it didn't show anything. Like, some dude was gathering some material. Another guy walks up with a gun, like, give me your bag. And then they get into a scuffle. And the guy who was trying to rob him gets shot. But the dude who was crafted is such a nice guy that he dragged him back to their home base. Like, that was it. And then it was like The Walking Dead: The Last Mile. And it was like, they didn't say what type of game it was. Like, it gave you nothing. So... Now I know, and it was kind of like, oh, like, definitely not what I wanted, but okay.
Oh well, they got like way too many seasons as it is, but oh well.
Yep.
It is what it is. Well, good for The Walking Dead. I don't know. Anything else gaming? Because we're gonna get into some fun stuff in a second, but anything else gaming real quick you want to talk about?
No, nothing I can think of. Anything on your end?
Not really. I will say I do still want, for anybody who is listening this far, like you will get a video where I grab all the trailers of all the space games. I want to cross compare to all the space games that I saw at all the shows. We're just gonna put them all together, and the only thing that keeps them together is the space games. And I might shout out Chorus because that came out, and I think nobody see it. It was something I originally looked at, but then I was like, I might pass on it, but I might pick it back up. I don't know. I think it is on Game Pass. And then there's one game that I saw that I forgot the name of. I have to show it to you later, but it looked like some sort of Megazord battle in space game that is awesome looking, but I don't know if it plays that well. It was like $20 everywhere, currently on sale on Switch for like $15.99, I think. But
okay,
it almost looks like either like the Megazord battle or Gundam Wing or Transformer. You create your own thing. It's I think it's all like like you start off like Megatron in space, almost like you're a plane that you can transform into like an actual Megazord, and you design it completely from scratch. And I was trying to see if they had any mods for it, because I think the game is like a year old. I was like, do they got any Gundam or any Megazord or any Transformer mods? But I couldn't find nothing. But it's a game that probably went under.
That.
Yeah, I'll look it up once we done, because I think War something. I forgot. I just looked at it, and then I'm gonna look it up now, because I know somebody else might actually be like, what are you talking about? But it was, let me see. If I go back to my history, I'll just say the name once I find it. But it looked like a Megazord in space battle thing. But it was really Gundam Wingish, because like everybody's mech that they created had like wings. And so like you can make them angel wings, or you can have like metalish wings. Okay, I found it. So it's called War. It's 3 words. It's War Tech Fighters. It came out like 2 years ago. War Tech Fighters. And I'm about to send you the trailer in the chat right now. So give me 1 second. And I guess I can get your live reaction to this. Whoops. I'll send you that. So it's $20 game, currently on sale on the Switch, on the Switch eShop for $15.99. I think that sale goes away next week.
Okay.
So yeah, but it just looked like you play as a Megazord, and you out there and y'all shooting rockets and stuff at each other. Looked a little chaotic, but it looked kind of fun. I don't know if it's bad, but it was probably something.
It got a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, it probably was something went completely under the radar. But I liked what I saw, because I'm still a fan of Transformers, a fan of all of that. So yeah, War Tech Fighters is probably my recommendation for this week. I think last week we did Ali World. This one will be this one. This will be recommendation this week, because I want to get this. I'm probably going to get this before the year is over. It's not high on the like priority right now. I got a backlog that's longer than anybody else's, right? But it looks good. I thought it looked fun. I was like, how bad can it be? It can't be that bad. You got your Megazords fighting, or your like Gundam Wing kind of thing. It looked like either Transformers, Megazords, or Gundam Wing. That's all I can come up with.
You know how I am Voltron about the customization, too. Man. Make your own.
Yeah, it looked like you can do it all the way through. Mm-hmm. So it can't be that bad. Now, what I've seen, I think it is double the price if you get it physical only on Nintendo, which I think is like a limited run kind of thing. But other than that, all digital. It should be on all the platforms. It's $20 across the board. I don't think it has any DLC from what I could see. But I think the PlayStation and the Xbox version, probably the PC version too, has extra content that I think they call it the Angel Wing something. Whatever it was, it's not on Switch, unfortunately. But the Switch version is slightly cheaper right now. But the better version is on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. So War Tech Fighters. That is my recommendation. We'll probably do like a quick. We should do recommendations once a week. Because I clipped it as a recommendation last week for Ollie World. I think this probably can be the recommendation this week. Something ain't nobody heard of. Good to me. So, yeah, that is my recommendation. So, okay. Are you sold on this game? How do you think? What do you think about it?
I just watched the trailer, and I actually am. Okay. Like, it looks great. Like, it doesn't look like it's, like, too, I guess, story involved. But I don't think it needs to be, right? It's a simple premise. Create your mech, go out and destroy some ships. And, I mean, it doesn't need to be more than that, especially for 20.
Right, and I remember, like, when I first got my PC, I went straight for the ROMs, right? And I went and got a bunch of stuff, and I remember talking to you about it, and you were a fan of, like, Armor Core. Wasn't that,
Yep.
That was the thing, and I remember I booted up a couple of those just to see how it runs, and they were a little rough, but those were more of a mech kind of thing, too. And so this is not really an evolution from that, but this is, like, what something like that would look like in 2022, because we don't really see those kind of games like that. And I think this game might be 2 years old though, but we don't really see that type of game. This is almost like Twisted Metal in space. Almost, it's like Twisted Transformer in space. It's like something like that. So yeah, so we don't have to spend too much time on. That's like my only thing I would say as far as a recommendation for that. So yeah, War Tech Fighters. Now
looks great.
Yes. Are you ready for the fun stuff? We'll talk about the.
Yes, I am.
The first thing that I have here is this Gangsta elephant that we can talk about real quick, and I think this would be the fun part for a lot of viewers, because I don't know how many people making like, stuff on this elephant, but there's a couple elephant videos, or at least there was one video I saw. I didn't see no horrific thing that I heard, but I heard about this elephant that came out of Chicago, or at least an elephant that came from the baddest part of LA. Or where is this elephant located, man? Like this elephant
is in India.
Oh, shout out to the Indians, man. Shout out to listen, the Indian elephants don't play. They don't play them games, man.
Woo! So I thought the story was like fake when I first saw it, and then I looked into it, and it's getting reported way too much, and it's not. So basically, some 70-year-old woman just got attacked to buy an elephant. Like the elephant just ran up and just started attacking her, right? Man. While she was like, I don't know, out and about doing some stuff, and the elephant just went crazy, stomped her, everything. So she ended up getting transported to the hospital, died.
Jesus Christ.
And her village, because it's a small village, they brought her home to get ready for like funeral stuff. And the elephant returned with like a herd of other elephants, chased the people away, and then reattacked her, like the dead person.
Like reattacked her. I didn't hear he came back with his whole entourage. I thought he came back alone. He bought the whole gang. All these blood elephants. Like
he brought a squad. Yeah, and they said that like it was bad. Like he did like this screech, like a battle cry sort of screech. And they said it was the most frightening thing that the villagers said they ever heard. And they stopped this lady's house and a few other houses and stole their grain, killed some sheep as well, like in their rampage and everything. And now it's being reported. So this part is not confirmed.
Okay.
But it is believed that the 70-year-old woman, she's like 68, that she was helping poachers, and the poachers killed the elephant's baby.
Oh man, so the
So the
elephant's a good
elephant
guy.
was
Good guy going for
out
revenge.
for revenge. So like the attack and then the secondary attack was like, y'all are not about to bury her in peace.
That's
it was
secondary one is crazy because before you said that part, I was gonna be like, listen, what you gotta do? What are you doing at 70 years old to piss off an elephant? What do you do? Like, how do you piss off an elephant? But you killed the elephant's baby. Okay, all right. And that's what you get then. If they came back and they came back twice and stomped on your grave and broke your house down. Listen, this elephant ain't playing no games. This elephant, talk about Indian elephant. This elephant clearly came from the hood, or it clearly came from a bad. Listen, this elephant. How do you do this? How do you be that vicious, elephant? I hadn't heard about these elephants being smart and they know you and they understand, they recognize you and stuff. Listen, I ain't got time for that, man. I ain't got time for her. Listen, that's crazy. They gonna have to have some mice or something, like put it up in the elephant's trunk or something. I don't know. How do you fight back?
They ran. The villagers ran.
Respect your elders, I guess. But it sounds like this lady deserved it then. I don't know. But you ain't about to kill my child though. I'm gonna have to, stomp on your grave. I guess. I don't know. You can't kill somebody's child, though. I don't know. You killed the elephant's child. And you know what? The elephant story is like, it's a crazy story. Because I also saw, like, they were showing this picture of, like, an elephant that just was, like, in somebody's, like, window of their house or something. And I know that one was probably not related. But it was just like, yo, these elephants is kind of crazy out here right now, you know? Yeah, like, listen, I don't know what I had to do, but I had to leave the entire area. If I just walk through the house and some elephant's head is like in my window, what is like, no, absolutely not. With this trunk and stuff, and it's like eating whatever's in your, like, nah, and then it's gonna come back and kill your grandma and then stomp on her grave later. Nah, bro. Nah, I ain't got time for this elephant. And then it was like the lady who the other video of some girl on Twitter or something where the baby elephant, it was a whole nother elephant story, and I guess the baby elephant was like trampling the girl, but then her pants or dress or something was down, and then it was like on top of her. It was like real graphic. It was like real graphic. And I'm looking at this and I'm just like, first of all, screw the internet for like, there's so much crap on the internet, and it's like you don't even be wanting to see this stuff. You be wanting to wash your eyes out with soap. And I'm just like, yo, and she was like playing it off like, not this elephant doing this or that, whatever her caption was. I'm like, yo, it looked like the elephant is assaulting you, like assaulting you.
Oh.
And you like falling over.
Why ain't nobody help? But like, you can't really help. You just go get trampled as well.
No, and then the other elephant, it was like she was out there where the herd was, and like a bigger one came and like kind of shooed the little one off of the girl and stuff, and she's trying to collect herself off the ground. I'm just like, yo, what's going on with these elephants? Like, I think that was a coincidence that was shown like around the other time of this elephant story, but I'm just like, yo, like what is going on with these elephants? Like, you can't mess with these wild animals. Like, if you in an area where wild animals can run up on you at any time, you need to be on extra alert, first of all, and you need to be on your best behavior, because these animals don't be playing. Especially an elephant. The elephant, like this. The elephant is by default 3 times bigger than your car. Like, you can't even get in your car and run away. It will absolutely flip your junk. I've seen some videos on YouTube alone where elephants be sick of these humans who call themselves doing documentaries. They like, listen, you in my way. Yeah. And I'm about to flip your car with you in it. And they tusk and stuff can lift the car. Like, how strong is that bone? Like, they can just lift a ton car. Like, listen, man. Leave these animals alone. I didn't see like elephants dog. Like I seen footage of the elephant that just was like sick and tired of the circus. You ever see some of the videos where the
Yeah.
elephants be like, you know what? I might just throw my doo-doo at you. And they'll throw it at the crowd, or they'll trample the ring person. Like, listen, man, y'all gotta leave these animals alone. I'm gonna tell you though, I have a guilty pleasure, but I do be looking at some of the videos where the lions just be like, you know what? We about to just eat one of these people. I'm sick of this. I ain't jumping through no ring of fire. I'm about to just chew on you real quick. Like, I remember there was like this video that came out like a couple months ago of a alligator or a crocodile or something. Like, some woman had a crocodile or alligator, and she it grabbed her, like it bit her arm or something, and it immediately was trying to do the death roll. Like, it was not playing. Like, yo, y'all be messing with these little animals thinking you can feed them real quick and you can pet them and put your head in their mouth and stuff. Like, listen, they still wild animals. That is not a cat or a dog. You is food.
It is.
You is the food.
It is buying this time for food.
I ain't got time. I ain't got time. But nah, to take it back, if the lady did what she did, she absolutely deserved that elephant coming to get her.
Yep.
If she did what she did. That elephant crazy still, though. The elephant still needs to get his mental health checked. Like, you still a crazy elephant. And you need to talk to somebody. You ain't gonna talk to me, though. I'm gonna be far away from you. But you need to talk to somebody. Maybe you could talk to a zebra. Go talk to a zebra, and maybe the zebra can help you. Go talk to a giraffe. Go talk to one of them people in the Tarzan movie or something. Figure it out. But don't come near me or my grandma's or my house. Yes.
How close to the elephants were they that the elephant knew which day the funeral was?
Listen, dog, these elephants ain't playing.
Tell her? Like, he was like, oh no, yeah, I seen her again. They
But
got her from the hospital.
Yeah, they checked their phone. They checked their social media. The elephant checked and they saw it and came back. It's no different than like when people be doing the whole like when the FBI be looking at certain people. They checked their social media, man. They checked. It was Elephant Book. They checked Elephant Book and they saw it. I was like, all right.
Oh man.
It's not Twitter. Is Tusk or whatever. I don't know. I don't know what to say, but it's like, yeah, that's what they did.
I was like, wait, what noise does an elephant make?
Listen, we need to go find Zach. Like, Zach, come and get your mastodon, because he clearly mastodoning on everybody right now. Come get your mastodon, Zach. We ain't got time for this dude. Yeah, but
it's wild.
Watch out for the killer elephants.
Yeah.
All right, I got one more topic here, and then we can probably wrap it up. This is a good episode so far. But this probably might be a big topic, though. This might be 2 in 1, but Vince McMahon and then Sasha Banks. There's a lot going on over here in the WWE camp, and it's starting to really fall apart. Because I remember, like, if you are a wrestling fan and you really hated Vince McMahon's booking, if you was really there and you sat through a lot of stuff during the John Cena era, you was probably pissed off and you probably wanted him to go. Nowhere did anybody think that it was going to be from cancel culture. Everybody probably thought, you know what, it's going to be old age, or God forbid he might just croak. But Vince was never going to leave that chair under his own power. It was like, what could possibly get him out of there? Even the XFL couldn't get him out of there. But now is cancel culture. The one thing that gets pretty much anybody up out of here. That's what gets him up out of here for stuff that was done like 20, 30 years ago, as well as like other stuff that people just bringing up just now. I mean, there was stuff people was talking about. There's like $3 million worth of hush money going around. I mean, there's all type of allegations from like the 80s and stuff. And I believe the 80s stuff is probably true though. Cause they used to wild out back then, and they didn't think social media or anything. They didn't know any of that stuff then. They thought they could get away with everything completely. Now somehow all that old stuff is documented, and it just come up right when you don't want it to. And now Vince is up out of here. Stephanie hightailed it a while back, not too far back, and then she's coming back, and then Yeah, it's crazy. Like, what is you probably got more news on this, but
Yeah.
what's happening? We'll start with Vince, and then we can talk about Sasha. Sasha, I think, I still overall think she made the best move, and there's no news on Naomi being released.
No.
It's only Sasha, right?
So, but the Sasha thing is also a rumor. Like, it's not
It's
confirmed
not
that she's
confirmed.
gone.
It's just a rumor.
Uh-uh.
Okay.
She hasn't even confirmed it. She said something online. It was like, it's crazy what people make up. Like, it was like, I leave social media. This is why I stay off of social media. It's crazy what people make up, is what she said. So there's no confirmation that she's gone.
Okay.
But the only confirmation we have is that she dyed her hair brown, like back to its natural color.
Okay. I would imagine so. I remember Eva Marie used to do that. I was like, it used to be weird. It would be like she'll have red hair on the time she has to be on air, and then literally would dye it black, like like outside of it. It was just like, why would you just leave it? Like, I don't know, because she had to make it jet red again. It was like super red. It was like cartoon red, and then I'm like, okay, all right, because she still had to do. Like, you remember Total Divas? Like, she still did Total Divas, and on Total Divas, the red would like fade a little bit, and then next thing you know, it's just black on her regular social media. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, and then you got to do it again. I'm like, I know that take a while for as much hair as you got. Yeah.
But for Vince, apparently there was employee that he was having an affair with, and was rerouting funds to this employee. From my understanding, like, randomly her salary got doubled, which is what the board of the board is like, because they have all their investors and everything, and that's the thing that they're checking. Because it was like, why did she just start getting paid more out of nowhere? And then all of a sudden, it was when she was let go, it was the $3 million of hush money to like not talk about the affair. And apparently, this was a whole thing between Vince and John Laurinaitis. So more than likely, John Laurinaitis is going to take the majority fall for this. Now keep in mind, so Vince stepped down as CEO, which is what he did when they were going through the steroid scandal back in the 90s. So he stepped down as CEO. However, he is still in charge of creative. So he's still in charge and everything. It's just he's no longer has the CEO title. Stephanie had stepped away, and now she's back as interim CEO until all of this gets settled.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's just I don't know where I see this stuff, and I'm just like, wow. Like, in my head,
you know what?
Like,
I mean, I was just gonna say, like, Vince is getting crucified now, but this is like corporation after every corporation. They all have these kind of cases because people be up in there horny. Like, it is what it is. It's bad.
Why don't use your own money? Like, he makes enough that he could have like paid this employee the normal wage and then everything extra he wanted to give could have been from his own pocket in his own money, and then the $3 million could have came from his own money, and the investors would not know anything about it. But it's the fact that you're rerouting company funds to do this, that's what got you caught.
Yeah, it's them tax cuts. They want them tax cuts.
But he wanted an affair and tax cuts. Okay. Yep.
I saw something else on one of them social media sites. I think apparently there was also like a mention of a sexual assault case or something. Not a case, but it was alleged that he sexually assaulted a referee back in the 80s. It was something like that. I don't even know if that was a real story or not. It was literally meme style how it was presented. But I think the gist of it was she was in his I think she wanted a raise. She went to go talk to him, but they had the conversation in his limo, and that's when he sexually assaulted her, I guess. And so All they did was show a photo of her in a referee outfit, gave her name. It looked more black and whitish, and it was like something apparently that happened in the 80s. That's
Did they
all I
have
know
female
on it.
referees in the 80s?
Yeah, that was the Hulk Hogan era. They still had it. Everything's
They
still.
had female referees?
Huh? Say it again.
They had female referees in the 80s?
Oh well, I don't know.
I
From
thought
my
that was
understanding, it was always Earl Hebner. Like Earl Hebner was the very first
Yeah.
referee.
It was
Hebner.
Earl and Dave. Rest in peace, Dave.
Yeah, he just passed away too this week. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I always thought, yeah, it was those two, and that was it. Like, I thought the woman referee was way later. But then again, another report also came out accusing it was a former wrestler, Rosa, that they were like, this is the person he had an affair with. And everyone's like, I thought the report said it was a WWE lawyer and everything. So, like, people are just, like, rumor has it, and then just throwing out
there
a
was
name.
there was the mention of, I think it was was her name Rosa and Michael Hayes.
Rosa Mendez.
Mendez. Yeah, I remember those because I think you remember that time she was literally there for like almost like over a year and wasn't doing nothing until she got on to Total Divas for a second. Like apparently she was only on payroll. Like this is alleged, but I think hardcore wrestling fans know this. Like she was basically like Michael Hayes' girl basically. But like his girl that like he just got sexual favors from her basically. Like just to keep it frank. Like that was like her only reason for being there. And it kind of made, well, I don't want to say it made sense, but she really wasn't on TV at all. She wasn't doing nothing for like a good year and a half, and she wasn't getting released. And apparently it was supposed to be like a Michael Hayes move, and then the company found out about it, but it never made real headlines, and all they did was fine him. Like they fined him, and then they still let her stay there. And then I think publicly they were quote unquote in a relationship at one point until she finally was let go. Like that was a thing. But they put her on Total Divas so that it didn't look like she wasn't doing anything. Like if that but during that time frame. But I think they fined him like a lot. Like they covered, but they fined him. I think it was like $500K. If I'm not mistaken. It was something like that. But yeah, and so this kind of stuff happens in these corporations, So yeah. But the crazy part about it for me is just like this is how we get rid of Vince. Like after all this time, like this is, and it's like it's not even really 100%. It's just, he is still at the same time up in age. It seemed like he had an exit plan in 2020 because before everything had went down, his whole thing was I was going to resurrect XFL, and then it just didn't work because of the lockdowns. And so afterwards, The Rock buys it. We don't even know what's going to happen with that, but he buys it, and Vince just went back to still just being in the background of WWE. But it looked like that was going to be his out. And it's like at that time, people thought it was going to be the Shane or Triple H and Stephanie as a couple. And then so many other stuff was happening. They went through like a year of firing like 100 people almost. Probably more.
And then Shane kept making everything about himself. Triple H had the heart thing, and he had to step down, and Stephanie was taking care of him, and then they brought in Nick Khan, and he just been like, everybody's saying this Nick Khan is doing this, and he's just taking them all down from the inside. That's the phrase. They were like, he took down Shane, took down Stephanie, and now he's coming for Vince.
I think some of the older Vince stories is probably true. Because I still remember the Jimmy Superfly Snuka thing where it was just understood that Jimmy apparently killed a girlfriend and he was in the middle of a trial while he was like in his older age, and then he passed away in the middle of it, and they kind of just like that was the end of it. But in that story, what had happened was Vince showed up with a suitcase full of money or something back in the day, and that was it. And they let Jimmy Superfly go, and his name was not tarnished at all until the last minute. But like years went by, a long time went by, and so that, and I think that's confirmed. Like that's he showed up with some money, or he showed up with a suitcase, and we quote unquote don't know what's in the suitcase. It's like, what else would people want? What else is in there? A title belt? Like he showed up with something that made people stop coming after Jimmy Superfly Snuka for a long time, and they waited until he was. Yeah, they waited until he was in his old age to come at him, and it's like they're kind of doing this with Vince too. If the other story is correct, because it's like, didn't that happen 30 years ago? And it's like, yo, when they get older, they come for everybody. When you get older, like when they feel like, I don't know, it's crazy because it's like at the same time he's got to be. It's like, how many more years does he have? Even if you take the scandal away, it's like just for being like the head of WWE. It's like, I'm not trying to wish him in the grave at all. Like he probably still got plenty more time. But I mean, just being in charge of a company like that, period. Like, I don't know. So this might be his out, because it seemed like he had an out with XFL. I don't know how he was going to do both. I mean, it's like, why put that stress on yourself? You're a millionaire in your 70s. What are you doing?
Yeah.
You're a millionaire in your 70s. But according to him, he never felt like he was going to work whenever he was doing wrestling. So he's obviously passionate about it.
He just be like, nope, not this, rewrite, redo.
Yeah, tearing up whatever, and it's whatever he wants, no matter what it is. But this was something that finally got him up out of there, momentarily. But it's just cancel culture takes out everybody. It seems like if anything takes you out, it's gonna be cancel culture. Yeah, that's the craziest thing. So I don't know, but if Sasha Banks is actually gone, I think she should call herself Mercedes Banks. I think that would. Yeah. She's somewhat Teflon though. Like, all she has to do is, like, Snoop Dogg will keep her name alive until she transitions somewhere. But I think she could do like a CM Punk kind of thing where she do movies, not MMA, but movies.
but not only that, she's already acted in The Mandalorian, and her role was very well received. Yeah, that they could do a spinoff of just the bounty hunters. Yeah, and she would have Disney money. Like, she has a Disney role that she can always return to. Like, she's good. She's straight.
Yeah, she's hot in as far as like her name value right now in the wrestling world. So
Naomi has a good support system. Like, there was the whole, remember, like, the Push Naomi. There was just it was the Push Naomi like movement. People are still behind her. Like, she could pop up anywhere she wants. She'll be fine. And then her husband is like part of the hottest thing in WWE, so they good.
Yeah. Plus, if you know, if she stays married to them, you and the Rock's family is like, at some point, like, shout out to the Rock. I think he just bought Tamina a house. I don't know if you saw that video. It was like, because I don't know, is she completely gone from WWE, or is she still there?
Oh, she's there. She's there. Yeah, nobody's meaner than Tamina.
But shout out to The Rock, who's making sure like everybody good no matter what. So I did see that. Yeah, I think everybody in this situation is good, including Vince, which is funny because it's like, at the end of the day, like, you know, he's still got money. He's not. He's like he's lived his time. Like, if the only thing that can mess it up is they just somehow decide, nah, you gonna have to do some jail time. Which is somebody in his case, I mean, he could pay that off and still have a lot of money, and then somehow make more on the back end just by still owning a percentage of WWE. So I don't see anything I mean, he's still probably a terrible person, but it's funny because there was a lot of stuff that was said about Ric Flair over the years. It seemed like we calmed down on Ric Flair again, and he's back to being a positive name in the limelight. I don't know. It's like I remember there was just a story about him in the plane that had came out, and people cared for like 2 seconds, and then it was like he's back to being Ric Flair again. It's like whatever. Yep. So I don't know.
Let's also not forget he's trying to come out of retirement for one more match.
Jesus Christ! And then he wants to face Hulk Hogan, or somebody said Hulk Hogan wants to face him. It's like, all right,
yeah,
y'all gonna learn. Go right ahead. Y'all gonna learn. Cause I can only imagine Undertaker versus Goldberg, but them, all right. All right, Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, we about to see it. So, if that's what you want to do, all right.
It's gonna be bad.
Shout out to wrestling. I'm gonna catch up, man. I promise, because we gonna have some more wrestling content. I was already looking up because I'm gonna watch two shows in a day, or not a day, but 2 shows in a week, and so that'll cut it down a lot. Other than that, current news, I don't mind talking about it. This is probably a bigger thing though. But
real quick, one more wrestling thing.
No problem.
I watched the Jeff Hardy arrest.
So they had that on tape.
Yep. Yeah, the cops put out the footage of the arrest. And I watched it. Like, basically, they were driving down the freeway and they saw him, and apparently some people called. Like, people actually called the cops on this car because he could not stay in a lane. Like, he's just swerving, like, back and forth. So they pull him over, walk up to the car, guns out, like, ready. It was just like, geez, calm down. And, like, they get to the window, they're like, step out, blah, blah, blah. And when they see he's, like, harmless, they put their guns away. But I think it was because of, like, the people calling and the swerving. They ain't know what they were about to. I don't know. There was 3 cops, and 2 of them walked out with the guns out, and 1 of them didn't. And it was like nowhere even, like his hands weren't even near the gun. The other 2, like one of them walks up, grasping at it. The other one pulls it out at the window. But they have him get out. They're talking to him. He can barely like walk, and everything. And they're going through like, where's your license? Run this, blah blah blah. Then they have a cop drive his car to like off the freeway. And they drive off the freeway, and then they do the whole drunk test stuff, and he couldn't do any of it. The whole putting your head back and touching your nose, he couldn't do. The walking on a straight line, he kept stumbling forward. Or there was a test where it was like you stand, and then you just lift any leg you want, like slightly above the ground, and count to 10. And he could get to 3 seconds before almost falling to the side. And they had to keep catching him. It was real bad. And then they put him in handcuffs. They put him in 2 pairs of handcuffs. And he was like, you're a bigger guy. And sometimes you forget with the wrestlers because sometimes he's smaller than a lot of the other wrestlers. But that's still bigger than the general person. So they put him in 2 pairs of handcuffs. Arrest him.
That's crazy.
Yeah, after the little gun thing when they put their guns away, the cops were very nice. And talking, but like, yeah, it was sad to see. It was like really sad, especially knowing too. This is like the 3rd time.
Nah, but I mean, it's the gazillionth time overall because the dude, like, if we go all the way back to when he fought Sting in TNA for the title and he showed up crazy, and Sting was disgusted in his face. Is like, yo, Jeff, you are an icon that's being watched by everybody. You gotta stop. My drain wants you to stop. You gotta stop.
There was a joke that I just saw that called him a Triple Crown champion because it was like the first guy to get a DUI in TNA, WWE, and AEW.
Yeah, like Jeff, man, you got to live a better life than that if you ever hear this, because and that's the thing, because he's had help. He's had help more than once. It's just like, I remember they said he calmed down at one point when his daughter was born, like firstborn. But then it's just like, old habits die hard a little bit. It's like, yo, but like we've seen the video footages of Jeff and Matt having the Hardy compound. Like they got a lot of land in their family. They like
Yeah,
they
be home. Don't be at
yeah,
the bar.
just relax. You don't even you because usually when people live like that and stuff, there's a lot of problems and stuff. Now we don't know everything that's going on behind closed doors with Jeff, but it's like on the surface, it's like you guys could chill. You could chill. You got everything you need at
Yep.
least to an extent. And like those like broken Matt Hardy videos are old now, and I'm pretty sure they had that land in that area for a long time. They could shoot a reality show out there basically, because that's what that was. And it's like you in and out of wrestling all the time, different shows, different places. Everybody would take you. All you got to do is just chill out.
But like
You
also,
are a name everywhere. Yeah, go ahead.
why is he driving? Like that's the thing that bothers me.
I don't know, because he
This is
could have
like
ended his life.
you have your brother, you have Uber, you got the money for Uber, you got 3 companies worth of people that you could just be like, yeah, I need a ride, and they'll set you up. Like it's not like now that you're in AEW, the WWE people won't help you. Like you have friends there that
Yeah.
will set you up. At least they'll order your Uber for you, and things like that. It's just you have no excuse to be the one driving. And this wasn't at like 2 in the morning. In this video, it looked like it was around 1 p.m. Like it was bright sunny out, and the roads were full. That's why
Yeah,
people were calling the cops on him because he was swerving on a busy freeway.
that's
And it's
crazy.
like, dude, be better. Like it's be better. I can understand the addiction thing, and that's its own battle. But like at the very least, don't drive.
Yeah,
Like at the
but
very
he's too high up
drive.
the totem pole too. Like this dude is a very high caliber star. When you talk about the long run, like he's still like he was someone who came up in the Attitude Era as well. So he's almost him and Matt are almost gonna be the next Undertaker when you talk about guys who just been there, who hasn't left yet. Like these guys have been there forever now. Like I'm not trying to make them sound old, like them Christian and Edge or whatever, but it's like the people you wrestling against watched you. You know what I'm saying? They played you in the video games. They had no idea they was gonna be a wrestler until they finally became one. And it's like you still got to show a good example for them. I know they be talking about that whole locker room leader thing. It's like, yo, you got to be like, that's who you are. You do have a responsibility in that locker room. You are the top guy. Like even because it's like there are things that they could say. They can give advice to people like Roman Reigns, no matter how big Roman Reigns is as a name. It's like these guys still got 15 years on somebody like Roman. You know what I mean? It's like any that goes same thing for like MJF, like any of these guys who are like getting bigger now, Kenny Omega, any of these people. It's like you guys have been there. Like he's been there like 10 years to 15 years before those guys were even heard of, even known about.
Yep.
So it's like
Yep.
you definitely got to hold yourself to a certain standard. You got to be that leader. You can't be like that kind of like person. Like you got to he needs to have the Kurt Angle integrity. Like you got to have
Yeah.
it because you are the locker room leader. And it's like you don't want to have them guys, snickering to themselves saying like that's an example of somebody you don't want to be. Because it's like, how can they say that? You multiple time champions in every company,
Right.
despite if it was fixed or not. Like you were multiple time champion in every company. You've been main event on every company show at least once across the
Yep.
board.
Yep.
So yeah, that clean it up, Jeff. You way too big of a name for that. We should not hear that from you. Not you.
Right.
Anybody else. Sucks to end it like that. Is that how we gonna end it? I guess that's how we gonna end it. I don't know. Anything else you want to say? I don't know.
Nah, just be kind to elephants.
Be kind to elephants, man. Stay away from elephants altogether. Or at least have an AK ready or something. I don't know. An AK that shoots mice. That's what you need. An AK that shoots mice at the elephant. But other than that, I guess we're wrapping things up. This was the Rocket Launcher Podcast, episode 2. Thank you to everybody who did make it this far. It's probably not that many, but I thank you if you did. And other than that, please wash the back of your ears, and we are out.